Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by the channel again today. We are going to talk about the biggest auto industry bankruptcy that you have never heard of. And I did not hear about this till very recently as well. Now, Wheel Pros, DBA, aka Hoonigan, declared bankruptcy back in September. This is an article that ran in Modern Tire Dealer, and it's a fairly large online company that sells a bunch of different aftermarket parts for souping up your car, or just all sorts of websites are under this brand. And I wasn't aware that they declared bankruptcy, so it's a fairly big deal. So let's go through the article. Wheel Pros owner Hoonigan declares bankruptcy. Hoonigan, which was known up until October 2023 as Wheel Pros LLC, has filed for Chapter 11 relief. In a September 8th statement, Hoonigan officials said that the company has entered into a restructuring support agreement, RSA, with a majority of its debt holders, through which it expects to eliminate approximately 1.2 billion of the company's debt and secure up to approximately 570 million of new capital, substantially improving the company's balance sheet and financial position. Okay, well, I'm not a finance bro or anything like that, but that seems like a lot of debt for an auto parts company. Today's announcement marks an important step forward for Hoonigan that will enable us to advance our industry-leading position in the growing automotive aftermarket sector, said Vance Johnson, CEO of Hoonigan. With a significant strengthened balance sheet and new capital, this transaction will position us to invest in innovation and further drive financial performance. With the strong support of our financial partners, we remain laser-focused on providing cutting-edge products and best-in-class service to our partners throughout this process. Yeah, so that's just some financial bullshittery he's throwing out there. Whether they can actually come out of this with a better financial position, it has yet to be seen. But yeah, just because you went bankrupt doesn't mean the company's going away necessarily. Could mean that they need to sell some parts of it. We'll see. In order to implement the RSA, Hoonigan has filed a voluntary petitions for Chapter 11 relief in the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the District of Delaware. Now, for most people that don't know, most major online software companies or just e-commerce businesses are registered in Delaware because they have a very favorable legal system there for business issues like declaring bankruptcy like this. As contemplated under the RSA, the company expects to emerge under the majority ownership of a group of its current lenders who recognize the potential of the automotive aftermarket industry and are confident in Hoonigan's ability to continue to operate at its forefront, said Hoonigan officials. Their RSA contemplates a swift in-court restructuring, with emergence from Chapter 11 anticipated within 2 months. Importantly, the RSA provides for a consensual pre-packaged restructuring proceeding, including a motion seeking to approve 110 million term loan debtor in possession facility and 170 million ABL DIP facility. The company anticipates this will allow the business to continue operating in the ordinary course during this restructuring without impacting trade creditors, customers, employees, vendor, or suppliers, and will allow the company to honor its commitments to strategic partners. Further, the company's operations outside of North America are not part of the court-supervised restructuring process. Yeah, so they're just trying to restructure their debt and essentially continue to operate. A statement released on October 25th, 2023, that announced the rebranding of Wheel Pros to Hoonigan. Officials from Hoonigan stated that the Wheels Pros name will remain within the Hoonigan brand family as the company's wholesaler channel and will continue to serve the company's retailers and dealers, and that Hoonigan subsidiary brands, including Throttle, misspelled, and Four Wheel Parts, will maintain their ongoing operations within established e-commerce and retail sales channels, preserving the continuity of their services. Um, then it basically essentially lists all the different brands that Hoonigan owns. I'm not going to read them all here, but yeah, in the end it says in the lighting category, Hoonigan owns the headlight Renovation, Marita, and ProComp brands, plus others. The company also owns and operates Four Wheel Parts, a chain of retail stores, as well as Throttle, an online retailer of performance parts. Now, I knew about Four Wheel Parts because that's a fairly well-known brand in the auto industry. All these other brands I wasn't really aware of them, but we can see that this is essentially discusses the US bankruptcy filing. So if you wanted to look at that, I could link in basically down in the show notes. And this is Hoonigan's website. And if we go over to company's brands, you're going to see that they own quite a lot of different brands and basically e-commerce sites within the automotive aftermarket industry. And I just hadn't really heard of these guys before, but the fact that they have gone into bankruptcy, I think, really shows that the US economy is very weak. People aren't spending as much money on their cars, souping them up, or things like that. From what I've heard from people within those markets, it's not easy. Like the motorcycle industry is not doing very well. This includes the boating and like motorsports industry in general. So, but yeah, Hoonigan is its own essentially as well website. But I'd be curious to hear what you guys, my readers, think. Like, do you think it's surprising or unsurprising that Hoonigan, aka used to be called Wheel Pros, went bankrupt? Were they just not running these e-commerce and sites very well? Was service bad? I'm not sure, but this is a fairly large auto industry bankruptcy, like I said, that I've never heard of, and I'd be very interested to hear subscriber comments about what's going on here, why, and like what do you think is driving all these auto basically industries, like I discussed in some past videos about advanced auto parts essentially exiting California and the entire West Coast. So we'd love to hear comments about it. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. That helps me with the YouTube algorithm and growing. I just hit 2,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. I'm still trying to get to that 2,500 before the end of the year. And anyway, catch you in the next video.